Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today, 1500 points, ITC Mission 5, the Dark Eldar FreakShow face off against the Ravenwing of the Dark Angels with bikes, more bikes, and psychers and bikes. Let's begin. Okay, so for the mission, we have objective number 1 over here and objective number 2 over here. We have objective number 2 back here, which is their big game hunter objectives, and objective number 1 over there. The Ravenwing, they're scouting up with their special detachment rules. We have Samael, a couple of librarians with command squad with a banner. We have Black Knights, we have 2 units of
attack squads.
Just squads with grav, and a couple of the shroud speeders to keep them all well protected. I deployed a Ravager on that corner, my Grotesquerie here, and another Ravager here while infiltrating the Death Jester and the Solitaire there. The Ravenwing will be trying to go first because they chose to go first, and I'm playing Evan. Evan, have a great game, sir. And I will attempt to seize the initiative by popular demand. I have a dice that you can all see. Okay, let's see.
Shut up. Good.
He almost saw it there. Okay, Ravenwing, turn 1. Ravenwing, advance at full speed. Maelstrom, we're playing with the new ITC rulings of roll 3 dice and pick the 2 that you want for Maelstrom, and then you don't score them until the start of each player turn, or your player turn. So he rolled secure objective 1 in your own opponent's zone, kill an enemy unit. He did kill my Ravager with ignore cover talons, plasma stuff. These guys 2 are boosted. These guys 2 are boosted back here. And then the Grav here immobilized my Ravager because they were unable, he jinked, but he failed his jink. And now we're moving on to the Dark Eldar, turn 1. Let's see what we can do, and we'll be back after this. We had both Grotesque units commit to the fight. These Grotesque jumped out, charged the Knights. They lost an entire Grotesque thanks to Grim Resolve, Plasma Talons. And then, thanks to the banner, everybody within 12 inches automatically passes hit and run. So they hit and ran, and they add an extra dice, so they hit and ran 46 that way. So wow, that's very fast for them. Over here, I killed 2 of those guys, and they did fail their hit and run, so they're stuck in combat with Grotesques. But these guys did lose 2. There's 4 of them left. The Grotesques did consolidate. My objectives were to hold objective 2. So right now I'm holding it, but with an entire Samael command squad there, I doubt they'll survive very long. And it was to kill an enemy unit. I can still try and kill that unit in combat here. And we're moving on to Ravenwing, turn 2. Let's move on. The Ravenwing decided to charge into these Grotesques, but before that, we had a Librarian Perils and blow himself up. Luckily, he didn't kill anybody else, but no more Interromancy powers, only Divination on that Librarian over there. The Knights decided to charge up and join this combat, and now every Grotesque is relatively wounded, and I failed to kill the last Biker in the Raven Biker unit with a horrible close combat roll. And now we're moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 2. And I have reserves to come in. His objectives are to hold objective 2 in his opponent's zone and to kill a unit, which he's already done. So he's pulling ahead on Maelstrom, and I have scored 0 points. So I have been unable to kill an enemy unit. And we're moving on to the reserve rolls. So, reserves, we have a Shadow Seer to come in a Venom, Deep Striking. Arrives. We have the Succubus in a Venom as well. Does not arrive. We have the 2 units of Cabalite Warriors coming in from regular reserves. One arrives. And then we have the Scourge as well. And they arrive. Awesome. Let's get this done. The Solitaire charged in and tried to kill the Knights, but failed to do any wounds with his Embrace. And then both units of Ravenwing decided to hit and run. They successfully did, leaving all my units out in the open now. I have to control this objective here, so that OBSEC unit is up here. and I have to control this objective here. So my venom scattered a little bit, and then the shadows here had to get out, but he shrieked 5 out of that unit there out of 6 guys with his mask. And then the Scourge contested that objective to deny a secondary point and force that guy into jinking, but with a 2+ rollable save, they're very, very hard to take down. And we're moving on to the Space Marine, turn 3. These guys just shot that raider and it died. Now, he got kill enemy unit twice, so he got a point there. He also killed my Death Jester over here with his combat, and then 1 Grotesque alive with 1 wound. He killed 2 more knights, so they're stuck in there, but he did get both Maelstrom points. So he's sitting at 6 Maelstrom points. I'm sitting at 1 Maelstrom point, because heavies, it's big game, big guns never tire, so he killed a Ravager, which does give him another point. That boosted over there to contest my objective 1, so I don't get it. And then he charged in here, and that's just been a slapfest, so nothing has happened.
Literally.
Quite literally. These are quite nasty, by the way. You know, denying Overwatch if you start within 6 inches and moving out and charging. That's actually really neat. I like the dynamic of this list. Very, very quick, very fast. So we have reserves to roll for the Dark Eldar. So we have a raider full of warriors. They arrive. We have a succubus with Heamonculus, and that arrives as well. So we're moving on to turn 3 for the Dark Eldar. Solitaire finally dispatched the last 2 knights, and they are both consolidating towards the main combat. Into the psychic phase, Psychic Shriek failed to cast, and then he passed his morale test for Laugh of Sorrows, and then failed his morale test for Laugh of Sorrows, so he didn't actually suffer any wounds from Laugh of Sorrows. Then the Slapfest continued, and he hit and run out of combat from the Scourge, but I am controlling Objective 2 with OBSEC, and I am controlling Objective 1 with OBSEC, so I should be getting both my Maelstrom points this turn. And then Evan is going to roll for his Maelstrom points as well. So it's kill an enemy unit, and hold Objective 2 in his unit.
I'm going to kill a unit.
He wants to kill units. Okay. Turn 4. These 2 bikers charged in, killed that venom. The Shadow Seer is out. So he did get 1 point for killing an enemy unit. And then this command squad failed their charge against the Scourge. And I'm going to get 2 points. So my total is going up to 3 to 6 or 7 points. And we're moving on to my turn 4. My reserves are committed. And let's see what the Dark Eldar have to do. So I created a screen here with the Cabalite Warriors and Raider to prevent them from just moving straight forward. Psychic Phase failed again. No damage to either of those bikes. I killed an enemy unit for my secondaries, so I was able to kill that tank in combat with my Archite Glaive, and I was unable to do any damage to that guy in combat with the Scourge. The Solitaires moved up and kind of gone into here. I have a Grotesque that moved into that Raider. I have that Raider with Cabalite Warriors move up to take Objective 2, which is my other objective, is hold Objective 2 in my deployment zone. And we're moving on to turn 5 for the Dark Angels. Let's see what happens. He got kill an enemy unit and he picked take this objective. But that combat there, my Raider is alive with 2 health points left, with 1 health point left. And these 2 Cabalite Warriors are still alive, but they're tying up the entire unit in combat. So good on you, boys. And then that was it. So no secondary points, and we're sitting at 7 secondary points to 3 now.
7
to
3.
4. 7 to 4 for me?
Yeah.
Because I just got 2 more points. Hooray! And now we're going to roll to see what objectives I get as well. I finally got Psychic Shriek off and murdered the 1 bike. The Succubus killed the other back in combat, consolidated back there. The Solitaire blitzed out of this building, charged in, killed the company champion, and murdered another unit. And then only 1 Cabalite died, so the Cabalite Warriors survived. They hit and ran over here. The Solitaire consolidated back into that building there on the ground floor. I did 1 hull point in shooting against that, which is incredible. And then the Scourge failed to do any damage in combat, needing 1/6 to glance it to death, but that didn't happen. So now we're moving on to see if the game continues. And the game does not continue. So this is ITC, which means that because there's no next of my turn, that means that I will not have a score for my objectives. That would have been these two over here. So secondary goes to Evan with a whopping like 7 points for secondary. I have Linebreaker.
Yes, I do not. Neither of us have Slay the Warlord.
Neither of us have Slay the Warlord, and the other one is
King of the Hill, and I don't.
Anyone within 6 inches of the center of the table.
Yeah, no one gets.
So nobody gets King of the Hill, but I do get Linebreaker to his no Linebreaker, and then I have Primary because it's objectives. That one is objective secured, so I have that one. That one is taken. This one is taken back here, and I have this one. So with a whopping 5 to 4 points.
4 points, 8 points.
By 1 point.
It's a draw. It's an absolute draw.
For what? No, the primary. Primary.
Oh yeah, you totally.
So I take 4 points for primary. You take 4 points to secondary, and then I have 1 point for Linebreaker.
Oh, that's right.
So it's a 5 point to 4 point game.
You win by 1.
Oh man, what a great game. Stay tuned for the tactical corner. That was intense. I really like the new ITC format with the 3 rolls to Maelstrom, and you get to pick the 2 that you want, and I love the scoring. It actually works really well and flows well in game. I really like the FreakShow list. Make sure you go to the links down below for more information. After all, this is Skari, your grateful host, signing off. Evan, any last comments?
Nope. It's a fun game, very, very close to the last turn.
Okie dokie, and we'll be back after this. And welcome to another Tactical Corner. So, FreakShow versus Ravenwing. Now, if there's something that you know about Ravenwing is it's a very elite army, but it is very fast and it is almost nigh impossible to destroy at range with the re-roll jinking, which means with a re-rollable 3+ save or 2+ save in some cases because of stealth and the jink special rule, they are one of the toughest armies out there to deal with at range. Now, I was playing with my FreakShow list, which has a combination of Harlequins, Dark Eldar, and Coven. Because we were playing ITC, only 3 different detachments are allowed. Ideally, this army works best with 4 detachments, adding in Eldar for some psychic shrieks, as well as Hemlock Wraith Fighters and other leadership shenanigans. In terms of deployment, I deployed as far back as possible, leaving the Ravagers on the corners more as bait than anything. I knew that with the scout, the bikes would get up close and personal, and I wanted to be able to deal with them on my terms. So keeping the grotesquerie out of harm's reach, considering the enemy army did not have any long-range firepower. It means that they have to come close with their short-range plasma talons, grav guns, and bolters. Now, my opponent did indeed go for the bait, taking out both Ravagers pretty much from the game. I could have probably put that second Ravager not as close to his command squad, but I really wanted to prevent him from wanting to turbo boost up into my face. I would have preferred to deal with him 1 unit at a time, which meant that I put it as far to the corner as possible, hoping that they would move towards that end there. I knew that I was going to have to deal with the Ravenwing in close combat, and the grotesques were going to be the pivotal units to deal with the knights and with the bikers. Now, one grotesque unit did a lot better than the other, and the Space Marines failed to hit and run on the top flank. On the bottom, that command squad was just going to be nasty, with the banner of plus Samael's warlord trait of extra movement. It's very, very quick. The reserves, my reserves, were going to be the make or break part of my strategy, and I needed to be able to focus on the smaller units and wipe them out, or try to wipe them out, so then I could deal with the rest of the army on my terms. One of the linchpins was the Solitaire that ended up coming to this top flank here
and helping me destroy those Black Knights that had the Plasma Towers, were bouncing around, killing things like my Death Jester, and really putting some hurt on the last unit of Grotesques. Because of the ability to deep strike the Shadow Seer and to deep strike my Succubus in the Venoms in the backfield, that all of a sudden forced my opponent to start looking at 2 different fronts. And this meant that the game slowly started going more towards my direction. Now, in terms of Maelstrom, it was going to be hard-pressed for me to win or tie the Maelstrom because my opponent had a good couple of turns of gaining Maelstrom points. But towards the end of the game, with most of my reserves coming in, being able to use that Vanguard Strike deployment to my advantage when bringing in the reserves and using Deep Strike effectively, eventually pulling that command squad back into the backfield, allowing my other unit of Cabalite Warriors to take objectives unopposed in that far flank. Overall, Psychic Shrieks could have gone better, but the FreakShow list has been one that I've been really enjoying to use as we play the game. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Skari, your grateful host. Check out the Patreon page and leave a comment down below and share the video. I appreciate you guys tuning in to watch, and this is Skari, out.